Car number 5, 1961 Pontiac Safari wagon. This car started the problem. Not because it was the most powerful, not because it was the most extreme, but because it was the first one that made the government realize something very serious was happening inside American factories. Imagine the context. Pontiac in 1961 was aggressive, more aggressive than GM's leadership wanted. Always pushing boundaries, always finding ways to put more power into cars that weren't supposed to have it. And the Safari wagon was where that aggression went too far. Because Pontiac's factory performance division, operating quietly away from official oversight, began installing the 389 tri-power engine into Safari wagon bodies. 3 two-barrel carburetors, around 348 horsepower, in a family wagon. This was not an authorized configuration. It was not listed in any official build sheet, and it was not legal for street sale under federal guidelines that had been issued just months earlier. But the factory built them anyway. When a federal safety inspector discovered 3 of these wagons during a routine facility check in late 1961, the report he filed triggered the first formal government investigation into factory-level violations in American automotive history. Pontiac executives were summoned to Washington. 2 factory supervisors were suspended pending investigation. And the remaining wagons, 11 units in various stages of completion, were seized directly from the production floor. Today, a verified 389 tri-power Safari wagon from this era sells between $55,000 and $95,000. But their real value is historical, because this was the car that made the FBI start paying attention. Car number 4, 1963 Dodge 880 wagon. This car was never supposed to leave the factory, not in this configuration, not with this engine, not ever. Imagine the scene. A Dodge factory in Hamtramck, Michigan, 1963. A small group of factory workers, operating during night shifts, off the official production schedule, quietly assembling wagons with the 426 Max Wedge engine. An engine producing over 415 horsepower. An engine Dodge's own legal department had explicitly flagged as non-compliant for street vehicle installation. And yet there it was, being installed. At night, off the books. These weren't random acts. This was organized, coordinated, a deliberate underground operation running inside an official factory facility. Certain wagons were pulled from the regular production line, taken to a separate bay, given the illegal engine configuration, and then returned to the regular flow, documented as standard builds. For months, nobody noticed. Until an internal Dodge accountant discovered discrepancies in parts ordering records. Max Wedge engine components being ordered in quantities that didn't match any official production schedule. He reported it internally. Dodge's legal team immediately contacted federal authorities. The FBI arrived at the Hamtramck facility within 48 hours. What they found was described in official federal documents as a systematic, unauthorized production operation involving at least 23 vehicles. 4 factory workers were arrested on federal charges. 2 supervisors faced criminal conspiracy charges. All 23 wagons were seized as federal evidence. Today, the documented existence of these wagons is known almost entirely through federal court records. No verified surviving example has ever been publicly authenticated, which means somewhere, in a private garage behind a locked door, there may be a 1963 Dodge 880 wagon with a federal case number attached to its history. And whoever has it almost certainly knows exactly what they possess. Car number 3, 1965 Ford Country Squire wagon. This car looked completely innocent. Wood paneling on the sides, family-oriented proportions. Everything about it said safe, legal, completely unremarkable. And that was exactly the problem. Because in 1965, a federal safety inspector was conducting a routine audit of a Ford assembly plant in Lorain, Ohio. His job was straightforward: check documentation, verify compliance, sign off, and move on. But something stopped him at one particular wagon. The exhaust system didn't match the engine documentation. The weight distribution figures were wrong. And when he requested the actual build sheet for the vehicle, it didn't exist. What he had found was a 1965 Ford Country Squire wagon fitted with the 427 high-riser engine, an engine producing 425 horsepower, an engine with intake manifolds so tall they barely fit under the hood, an engine designed exclusively for NASCAR competition and explicitly prohibited from any street vehicle by federal mandate. Sitting inside a wood-paneled family wagon, he immediately escalated. His report triggered a full federal inspection of the Lorraine facility. Over the following 2 weeks, investigators discovered 7 more wagons in various stages of completion, all fitted with prohibited engine configurations, all documented with falsified build paperwork. 3 Ford factory employees were arrested. The plant manager was placed on administrative leave pending a federal investigation that lasted 14 months. Ford Corporate issued a formal statement describing the builds as unauthorized actions taken without company knowledge or approval. Whether that statement was entirely accurate remains debated among automotive historians to this day. Today, a 427 high-riser Country Squire wagon is one of the most mythologized vehicles in American muscle history. Federal seizure records confirm at least 8 units were destroyed. But the inspector's original report still exists in federal archives, and it describes, in clinical government language, exactly what he saw when he lifted that hood. Something that had absolutely no business being inside a family wagon. Car number 2, 1968 Plymouth Belvedere wagon. This is the car that actually brought the FBI through the door. Not investigators, not safety inspectors, not internal auditors. FBI agents with federal warrants. By 1968, the government had been watching Chrysler's performance divisions very carefully for several years, and everything pointed toward a pattern that went beyond individual violations. This looked organized, systemic, deliberate at a corporate level. Plymouth's factory racing division had developed a wagon configuration using the 426 Hemi engine specifically for a small group of high-profile customers. Not street customers, not regular buyers, connected buyers. People with relationships inside Plymouth's performance network. People who understood exactly what they were getting and exactly why it couldn't be documented officially. The Hemi wagon produced 425 horsepower in street tune. It violated emissions standards in every single U.S. state. It had no legal street registration pathway anywhere in the country, and Plymouth built at least 15 of them. When FBI agents executed federal search warrants at Plymouth's Lynch Road assembly facility in Detroit, they came with specific intelligence about specific vehicle identification numbers. Someone had talked. Agents moved through the facility with build records, cross-referencing VINs against federal violation reports. 6 wagons were found on site, all seized immediately. 3 Plymouth executives were detained for questioning. 1 faced formal federal charges related to document falsification. The remaining 9 wagons, already delivered to customers, became the subject of a federal recovery operation that lasted 8 months. 7 were eventually recovered and destroyed. 2 were never found. Today, those 2 wagons, if they still exist, represent perhaps the most valuable and most legally complicated vehicles in American automotive history, because they are federal evidence, and they have been for over 50 years.
Car number 1, 1969 Chevrolet Kingswood wagon. This is the car that made the government change the law permanently, not adjust it, not strengthen enforcement, change it, completely, forever. By 1969, the FBI had been investigating factory-level violations for nearly a decade. They had raided facilities, seized vehicles, arrested workers and executives, and still it was continuing. Because the profits were too large, the demand was too strong. The 1969 Chevrolet Kingswood wagon changed all of that. A black full-size wagon, wood trim on the sides, 3 rows of seating, and under the hood, the ZL1427 engine, an all-aluminum racing engine, the most powerful, most illegal engine Chevrolet had ever produced. Official rating, 430 horsepower, but everyone involved knew the real number was closer to 560, and someone had put it inside a family wagon. When investigators traced the build history, they found something beyond any previous violation. This wagon had been built with the direct authorization of a Chevrolet executive, not a factory worker, not a rogue supervisor, an executive. The case lasted 3 years. 17 employees gave grand jury testimony. Criminal convictions followed at multiple levels, and it directly triggered federal legislation that permanently changed how every American car was built from that point forward. Today, this wagon exists only in court records and congressional transcripts. Whether any example survived the destruction orders, nobody officially knows. Because this wasn't just a car, it was the car that made the government rewrite the rules for an entire industry. And it looked exactly like something your neighbor would drive to pick up groceries.